From a passenger's window seat, a parked airplane looks like it's finally resting. The turbines quiet down, the seatbelt sign chimes off, and everyone stands up to grab their bags. But outside that window, a high-stakes mechanical ballet is just about to start. The second those wheels touch the tarmac and the chocks go under the tires, an invisible timer starts. The ground crew has exactly 45 minutes to execute what the industry calls the turnaround. This strict deadline exists because of a simple economic reality. Airlines only make money when their planes are in the sky. Every single minute a multi-million-dollar asset sits parked at a gate, it is actively bleeding money. Orchestrating this race against the clock falls on the ground handling operator. They mobilize dozens of personnel, coordinate fleets of heavy vehicles, process thousands of pounds of cargo, all before that timer hits zero. But moving tons of steel and jet fuel at top speed is incredibly dangerous. The turnaround requires a razor-thin balancing act. Hit the departure window to protect the profit margin, but execute every movement with absolute precision. One rushed step can trigger a catastrophe, which is why, on the tarmac, safety dictates every single procedure. Up in the terminal, the human side of the turnaround operates on predictability. Check-in desks, security lines, and boarding zones are all engineered to feed a steady, measured stream of passengers toward the aircraft doors. But as you hand over your suitcase at the desk, it descends below the floorboards into a completely parallel journey. It enters a massive subterranean labyrinth of conveyor belts, scanners, and sorting carts. Down here, every single piece of luggage gets tagged with a unique barcode. Scanners read these tags at high speed, routing your bag through miles of tracks to ensure it ends up in the belly of the exact right aircraft. This complex sorting process is driven by a mandatory security protocol called baggage reconciliation. Simply put, the ground team must verify that every loaded bag perfectly matches a passenger who has physically boarded the plane. If a passenger checks a bag but fails to show up at the gate, that plane cannot legally take off. The ground crew must halt the loading process, climb into the hold, locate that exact suitcase among hundreds, and pull it off the flight. When you walk down the jet bridge and take your seat without a delay, you are experiencing the end result of flawless, invisible synchronization happening beneath your feet. Step outside onto the ramp, and the quiet, climate-controlled terminal disappears. Out here, the ground crew operates in a deafening, active industrial zone packed with massive vehicles and raw jet exhaust. This is the aircraft safety envelope. Because an airplane has massive blind spots, strict boundary lines on the concrete dictate exactly how close equipment can get. Ground support vehicles, like power units and belt loaders, must follow standardized pathways to safely dock with the fuselage. Once the doors are sealed, the aircraft still can't reverse on its own. A heavy pushback tractor has to physically connect to the nose gear and manually steer the blind 100-ton machine backward out of the gate. Yet with all these massive vehicles navigating the tarmac, the most lethal threat to the turnaround is almost invisible. It's what the industry calls foreign object debris, or FOD. A single stray bolt, a piece of ripped luggage tag, or a discarded soda can left on the concrete can be sucked into an active jet engine. The spinning titanium blades will shatter against the debris, instantly destroying a multi-million-dollar engine and putting lives at risk. That is why ramp crews constantly scan and sweep the ground. Strict spatial discipline out here is a vital defensive strategy to neutralize hazards in a highly volatile environment. The cargo doors lock, the tractor disconnects, the marshaller gives the final salute, and the aircraft safely pushes back toward the runway, right on schedule. Now multiply that sequence. Dozens of these complex, high-pressure turnarounds are happening simultaneously at gates across the entire airport, every single hour. Standardized training protocols and rigorous human drills turn these individual movements into a single, predictable system. The sophisticated software in the cockpit ends where the tarmac begins. Out here, the entire network depends on the physical coordination of crews working through noise, heat, and rain. Aerodynamics makes flight possible, but the precision of the ground handler keeps the industry moving.